In this video, I'm going to show you how to put together your backdrop for the backdrop project. We are going to go ahead and start by cutting 2 pieces of the paper. You will need to use a partner. One of you is going to have to pull the paper off of the roll cart while the other partner is also measuring with the measuring tape. Your paper needs to be 103 inches long, and you will need to cut 2 pieces that are 103 inches long. Make sure that you're using your partner to help. This will make the process way easier. Next, we are going to attach these 2 pieces together. You're going to lay both pieces on the ground. I suggest taking one end and lining it up with the red line on the ground to make it nice and straight. You will then overlap one of the pieces over top of the other, and you're going to have to measure out the width to be 58 inches long. So we're going to start by measuring out the top. Make sure that your ruler is touching one end of, make sure your tape measure is touching one end of the paper, and then that it is measuring out to 58. You're then going to move the measuring tape down to the bottom, and you are going to measure out 58 as well, because sometimes it isn't exactly straight, so you'll just need to make it nice and straight. That way it's 58 the whole way down the paper. After you've done that, you're going to take some bigger pieces of tape and you're going to tape up the back of your backdrop just like this. And then we are going to create the little area for holding your dowel rod. So you're going to flip you're going to flip the top part of the paper back. You're going to hot glue along the line there to just secure it down, and then we're also going to double secure it by adding some tape as well. Once you're finished, you can add your dowel rod in through that loop, and then you're ready to hang. You and your partner will need to grab a step ladder, and you guys are going to have to hang your dowel rod from these hooks on the ceiling. The dowel rods will have a piece of fishing line hot glued to them, and then you'll just have to lift that up and hook it onto the little hooks hanging out of the ceiling. Once your backdrop is hung up on the wall, you can take some pieces of tape and tape your backdrop right to the wall if you want to make it more secure, or you don't have to. We are going to want to make sure that we keep our hallways clean by keeping the paint off the floor. So you're going to need these sheets of paper right here. If you can't find them out in the classroom, you can come back to the back room and find this cabinet. We'll also need these big pieces of coloring paper that were on the bottom. You'll go out into the hallway and you are going to need to tape up these pieces on the wall, in between the wall and your backdrop. This will help to keep any paint from going on the wall. If you do get paint on the wall, you will need to clean it up. So you're going to put those pieces along your backdrop from the top to the bottom on both the right and left hand sides. These pieces can stay up until you are finished painting your backdrop. These pieces on the floor are just to keep paint off the floor. If you do get paint on the floor, you will need to wipe it up. Every day after you are finished, you need to bring these pieces of paper back into the classroom. Do not leave them in the hallway. Before you start painting, you can tape down that middle area that's kind of flapped open. You can tape it down to the other piece of paper to keep that nice and flat so that it's easier to paint on. When you go to find your supplies to start painting, your paintbrushes are going to be found in cabinet 17, and then your paint is going to be found in cabinet 21. You are going to use these small sheets of paper to put your paint on when you go out into the hallway. Please make sure that you're not using huge amounts of paint for small areas. Just take what you need and come back and get more. If you're mixing a color, you can use the cups and the lids that are found in drawer 46. Please label them and put your name on them. When you are done painting at the end of the class, you will need to make sure that you clean your brushes properly. Rinse the bristles underneath the water until all of the paint has come out. You should be able to run your fingers over the bristles, and if a clear water droplet comes out of the bristles, that means that your paintbrush is clean. If not, then you will need to clean it again. Some final thoughts on this project. When you are finished and the project is complete and the teacher has graded it, you will need to go ahead and take the project down. You'll have to remove the dowel rod from the ceiling. You will also need to remove any tape that you have used that was behind the backdrop that attached it to the wall. Please look at the wall and the floor to make sure that there is no paint on either one of those areas, and if there is, you will need to clean it up. Have fun!